Lisa, your free-range psychic, and today my guides wanted me to do a reading on Rod Rosenstein, who up until recently was the Deputy Attorney General of the United States. So, hey, Rod Rosenstein, what's up with that guy? People were really confused when he seemed to stand behind William Barr, not just physically, but people assumed, oh, that must mean that he supports him. He's always been an enigma. So I am interested in this reading too. So when I do my readings, I ask my spirit guides what cards to choose. They tell me, and then I fish them out of the tarot deck. And today I'm using the Gilded Tarot by Ciro Marchetti. So here. So I'm doing a simple Celtic cross layout. And the first card that came up was Justice. No, sorry, Justice, the Hierophant, which is a subject card. On top was Justice. Bottom was the Five of Wands. In the near past, Eight of Pentacles. And in the near future, the Three of Swords. And I chose a couple other clarifying cards, and I'll let you know about them in a minute. So, the Hierophant. So what my guides told me was that the Hierophant represents the government and all the institutions in the government, and really, you know, also Rod Rosenstein being a government man, really, that's his essence. Justice, Department of Justice, so that makes sense. And his total identity is with the Department of Justice. He believes in sacrificing himself for the greater whole, for the United States of America. And he is really also reflected in the Hierophant, is interested in the integrity of the Justice Department, in how it runs, that it should be beyond and above a political persuasion, and that it's necessary for it to have its latitude in doing what it needs to do, which is protecting the United States. In the near past, Eight of Pentacles, this is also very much a work card. This is the Mueller report. This is Rod Rosenstein, or yes, Rosenstein. I always want to say Rosenstein, but I think it's Rosenstein. Making sure that the work is being carried out and it's being followed through, and protecting also the Mueller report and the other investigations going on. Remember, when you start doubting Rod Rosenstein, that he appointed Robert Mueller. He formed a special counsel, and he had and still has a vested interest in this report and the integrity of the report. And below the surface, Five of Wands. That I asked my guides what that represented, and they said, I'm always interested in asking, well, are these five representatives people, or is it just the gist of, you know, conflict and struggle, arguments, disagreements? My guides said, yeah, they represent Trump, Barr, Mueller, the House and the Senate, all fighting over this report, and we certainly are witnessing that going on right now. And Rod Rosenstein is very focused on this. And in the future, Three of Swords. And this is heartbreak. Just being heartbroken that it's come to this. That all the work they did, all the integrity, not just himself, but Mueller and the people that are employed in the Department of Justice have, all the hard work they put in, the higher values and aspirations they have for this country, and it's now um, being really brought down to such a low pass by William Barr and Trump and the others in his administration who are behind the spin and the also the obstruction that's going on, because it is obstruction. So just yes, being very heartbroken about what's going on. Um, so I wanted a clarifier because it was still enigmatic to me somewhat. Um, and so I got the Ten of Wands. So this card is about Rosenstein and what a burden, how hard it was this protecting this report, and how much he humiliated himself when he had those meetings with Trump. What he had to do um, to make sure that it carried on, because Trump wanted Mueller fired, and I believe my guides told me that because this was yesterday when I asked him. I wrote some of it down, but I don't know if I wrote this down. That Trump had asked him to fire Mueller, which he refused to do. So nobody really understands or knows, except maybe his wife and his family and the people who work in the Justice Department, exactly what he had to go through to make sure that this report was protected, that Mueller was protected, and Mueller's employees or partners, who worked for him were protected. And so the final card here is the Tower, which is really characteristic of readings when we're reading about the Trump administration, right? So what my guides told me about this card in relation to Rosenstein was that illumination, they brought my attention to the lightning striking the tower, that all of the information, everything will be illuminated, and not just the report, but what he went through, what Mueller went through, what the true intentions of the Trump administration were, and that Rosenstein will be exonerated, that he will be known as an unsung, that he had formerly been an unsung hero, that he is a hero. So that is the reading in response to, hey, Rod Rosenstein, what's up with that guy? And then I wanted to read. He wrote a letter, and people really were confused about this letter, and they thought it might echo Trump and Trump's America First. But I'll read the little paragraph that I wrote out. We keep the faith. We follow the rules. We always put America first. Well, Rosenstein has a really dry sense of humor. He's very sarcastic, and my guides are confirming that this was a dig. This was saying America first, not Trump first. America first. We follow the rules and we keep the faith. So if you really read that letter, if you kind of look for the kind of subtext of it, it is, whatever Trump and his people want or are trying to make believe regarding this report, or even in their insidious erosion of the principles and morals of the Justice Department and of our government. Rosenstein was taking a stand and representing the Justice Department and saying, we keep the faith, we follow the rules, America first. So I thought that was a really interesting reading regarding what my guides told me, because I was confused, as confused as anybody. And wow, watching Barr yesterday, oh, his energy is so bad, and he's such I don't even know the words to describe him. It made my stomach turn to watch him just completely disregard, not, I mean, the Senate and at least the Democrats in the Senate, and also Mueller, the things he said about Mueller. What was that all about? I mean, it's just disgusting. But the thing about Barr is he's showing himself that He doesn't care. He really doesn't care. He's that arrogant, and he's that power uh, hungry and infused by the sense of his own power and the power of the Trump administration. I think just like Trump and all of them, they think they're above punishment. So that is my reading. And today Barr did not show up to be questioned by the House and by Nadler. So we're going to see what happens with that. And I may do a reading on that. But I think my guides want me to read on Betsy DeVos next. So we'll see what happens with that. Hope everybody has a really good rest of their Thursday. No, it's not April, sorry. May the 2nd, 2019.